executives around the country, and we also had one for our staff members that are on the field. So next slide, please. Excellent. So I'm going to take the time to introduce myself. So my name is Isabel Werlin. I'm a National Recreation Manager. And with me, I have Carmen Wong, who is one of our National Recreation Coordinators. So we focus more on national programs. And we've started this portfolio of looking into our lovely recreation clubs around the country. So we started with this first survey. And we also put our email below here in case you do need to reach out to us after this presentation. You are more than welcome to. Perfect. So the overview of today's presentation will go through the feedback that was provided from the club executives. So we had quite a bit of respondents in the survey. It was separated in different sections in the survey. So we're going to give you the results based on present state, what's going on right now, what's going on with training that's maybe being offered, what's going on the policy side of things, and how do you see the future state. We're also going to look at the feedback that was given from the staff and possible solutions that were already also shared from them. The main focus of today is we also want to get your input on what type of solutions we can come up with and way forward to better support and better help everybody. And then we'll finalize with a roadmap of the next things that we are going to focus on. And then you will be able to ask questions. So present state feedback. So the biggest challenges that were faced, and we're giving the two sides on this slide. So from the club executive side, the challenges that came up are rules and regulations, volunteer management, hiring and recruiting, financial stability, and member recruitment. So we can see on the PSP staff side of the things that there are three main challenges that are the same that the club executives are experiencing. So next slide. One thing we wanted to share as well, right now, we did ask what is the likelihood of recommending someone to go to a PSP staff to solve any challenges. So we do recognize that the indicators here are not good, so that we can see that club executives don't have the first reflex to go see a PSP staff to help finding solutions. So possible changes that we would like to make based on the challenges that came out. So we recognize that there is a challenge with the financial side. So we want to reach out to the national team for finances and see what type of SOPs or processes, resources that we can come up with to better help the PSP staff locally and also the club executive members. We also see that there's possible changes that can be made on defining clear objectives and goals, responsibilities and roles for everybody involved. Also tackling how we can better open communication between both sides and how we can build resources and training to better support. So on the training side, we did see that most of you have not received training. So that's possibly the reason why there's a lack of knowing the resources, knowing the roles and responsibilities, knowing who to reach out to when you do need help solving, because there's a lack of training. So policy feedback. We did ask the question about the knowledge of PSP and CFMWS policies, and how would you agree that providing those policies, would you agree that they would protect from any lawsuits or legal action? And everybody, most of the people strongly agreed that we need policies to be able to better support our community. I think there's something in the chat. I just can't see. Carmen,
Yes.
can you help me out?
I can look on that. Other than mandatory training for my delegation of financial authority, I'm not aware of any training that is available. Yeah, we definitely hear that training has not been consistent. So that's definitely on one of our agenda to investigate into and provide training that is more consistent across the board for every club as well as every location.
Thank you, Carmen. So future state and feedback. So summary of recommendations. So helpful how-tos for new club executives. So for our new ones.
Sorry.
It's okay. I thought it was me. So help with marketing, help with all of your financial aspects, and also communication based on how to conduct meetings. Resources that would be helpful for new club executives is obviously documents like resources and policies and training. Maybe a welcome training package, and also a PSP employee chart, and that falls into the roles and responsibilities too of everybody. So that way, everybody knows who to reach out to when they do have a question or they're experiencing a challenge. So training format and deliveries. So offering, we can see that when we ask that question, a lot of responses were various, right? So some loved having a one-on-one training, some online training on their own pace. So we really need to focus on how can we build a training package that would respond to all of those needs. So virtual, in-person, different times and dates, so that we can deliver these resources to everybody. Next slide, please. So on the staff side, even if we showed you the common challenges, we do have some other things we wanted to show you on the staff side, which is more so when they came up from ideas to support. So on the resources side, they were saying that they need maybe some help having more staff time to have better support for you. Maybe they need some extra tools to help out with club registrations.
Sorry. I was trying to get something ready next. My bad.
No worries. And then maybe a training package or a handover package that would help. Specifically on training is defining roles of all parties. So the local staff, the national staff, and also club executives. Liability training and training on club support like SOPs, rules, regulations, financial processes, and how to start a club. So a lot of things came about this survey, and a lot of things that we need to tackle. So policy review as well is making sure that we're ensuring that we're following new rules and regulation based on industry standards. So that came not only from the PSP staff side of the house, but also from the club executives. So takeaways, we took our top 3 for both sides. So on the club executives, so obviously, you've heard a lot of me saying that we need some training, we need resources to support. We also need to find tools to better communicate, and that you feel supported. PSP staff side, we need to define the roles of all parties and responsibilities. Also, they need some training and resources and how to improve communication. So we really see that regardless, on the club executive side or the PSP side, we really feel that there is a need of support in many different areas. So what we're going to do now, maybe before we move on, are there any questions based on the results we went through based on the survey? Change my okay, perfect. So what we're going to do now we're going to need your help, because now that you know a little bit more about the results of the survey, we're going to ask you if you can log in to this website. So it's www.menti.com. And you will enter a code that Carmen will put into the chat.
Okay. 1 second.
And we're going to have 3 questions that you're going to answer. We just want your feedback on some different challenges. There we go.
I've also put in the link directly on the chat too, if that's easier for everyone.
Wonderful. So we're going to start with the first question. I think, Carmen, you just need to go into Menti, right?
Yep. Coming. To go to the next one. There it is. Okay, so if we need your help on this one so that you can help us move forward, we want to know from you what would be helpful to have in the training package. So yes, we heard from one of you that a very limited training was provided for you. So if you can help us out and let us know, just type it in onto the chat and we'll be able to get a summary of everything. What would be beneficial to have in a training package? What training do you think would be beneficial for you to have? Anything related to training, that would be super helpful.
We'll give you a minute to log in. If you have any issues, don't hesitate to let us know.
Yep, the Menti code is up there if you need, and I also put it in the chat as well.
Also, I don't think there's anybody logging in right now. Can we see if there's people?
Yeah, I have, there's 2 people.
2? Perfect. Yep. Okay, so it's working. Okay.
Okay, we know we're putting you on the spot. So if this is something that you're like, nope, I'm not prepared for this, feel free to reach out to us after as well. So that we can definitely move forward from there. Not sure why it's not showing the actual
Answer.
Yeah, I know. Normally it does.
Carmen, you have to press enter now to show the answers.
There's that part.
Hillary.
Thank you.
Okay.
Roles, requirements, mandatory expectations, mandatory remits for each specific member of the club executive. Okay, so roles and responsibilities of each person. Thank you.
Well, more than just roles and responsibilities. I'm surprised on a, not, I won't say a frequent basis, but on a semi-frequent basis, it's like, hey, Colonel Sandy, you owe me this for your club. It's due on this date. Like, oh, really? Well, I'll get that done, I guess. You know, wish I'd known that a month ago, kind of thing. So if there is set requirements and timelines to meet national things to answer the mail for PSP on a national level, every base club has to roll up their stuff to a national level, for instance. Then, you know, if I know that well in advance, these are the annual milestones of all the reports that I got to submit in advance, then I'll conform, and then I got time to get it ready.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. So like a timeline of expectations, no last minute. Okay, fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next question. So communication, we want to know how we can better our communication. This kind of covers a lot of different bases that we're looking at. From the survey, we can see that everyone kind of have the different preference, either in person, over the phone, via email, as well as different time of the day that's more convenient. Do you have any suggestions on how we can better communicate, method we're looking for, as well as if there's specific things that you wish we've communicated better? If you would like to hear more often from us, less often from us, any of that as well.
Newsletter.
Point of contact list for escalation policy concerns, focus training group. Okay, definitely. Thank you. Local base level communication by email, expecting well, the annual summary on the base level. Thank you. We're not just focusing on national levels as well. We're definitely just trying to, I guess, be the bridge between the clubs as well as the local. If there's anything that we should help out the local so that they can better communicate with the club members as well. Okay, thank you. I'm going to move on to the last question. So we want to know from you how we can better support your recreation club. It's very open-ended, so we just want to give a couple of example registration processes, specific trainings that you're looking for. If you feel like you're not that supported, what can we do? What can the local do to better support you and your club? I'm not sure if you're typing. I don't want to just jump to the next one. Or if you can't think of anything right now, please let me know. I just don't want to cut off any information that we can get from you.
So I typed an answer and I hit submit, but I noticed it's not popped up on your screen. But I tried to answer the question, how can we better support your recreation club? Now, the item that I see on my my screen now says, how can we better communicate? So I don't know if it went back around to the
Oh.
start but it didn't seem to have sent you my response.
Just got one popped up. I'm not sure if it's yours. It says 8
Memoir.
memories for
Memoir.
setup for setup and maintaining recreation programs and clubs. Is that from you?
Negative. That wasn't mine. That was
Oh.
another member, but I'm happy to write mine into the chat if you'd like.
Perfect.
Yeah, that would be fantastic, please.
Sure,
Sorry
so
about
good.
that.
If you just click on the next question, it'll pop up the next question. You can put in multiple question answers, so you just have to click next question to get to the next one.
I don't have any more on my end. Oh, I might have just closed it on everyone. Sorry.
But yeah, if you put it in the chat, we'll be able to save it in our Menti. That way we can always go back to it. And these are really helpful. We really appreciate. We only had 3 questions for you, so this is super helpful, and we're really happy we get the opportunity to connect with you and get more of your feedback. So we'll move on to the next slide, which I don't remember which one it is. Oh, the roadmap. Okay. So we wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of how we're going to proceed. So we are now in the spring. So we have consulted already with NPF Finance just to see if there's any existing resources, tools, or training that would be helpful for our local staff and club members. We'll be able to push out a couple in the spring, but obviously this will be a little bit more work, but they are very open to working with us and trying to make things much simpler, which is exciting. The other thing we are looking at for the spring is offering any other existing training that could also help both sides, so local staff and club executives. And we also, at a national level, we're looking into going into the meetings that are done locally with all of the clubs twice a year to get those dates and to assist on a national level. So that was asked during our last national meeting to our local staff. So we are starting to gather those dates so that we are able to support as well on a national level. The next big thing that is coming up in the fall is that we want to dig a little bit more with a focus group on specific resources and how to build our training package for local staff and the recreation clubs, so the club executives. So that's going to be super exciting and interesting. So that way in the winter, we'll be able to really start to pilot all of these new resources and training packages that would better support. So next slide. Do we have any questions regarding that? Oh, a good question slide. Yay. Wonderful.
You're right here.
Any
Are there
questions?
any questions? Jinx.
Thanks. Awesome. If you are interested in being a part a little bit more of the next steps, for example, like the focus group in the fall, you can email our general recreation inbox. Just put this subject line club focus group. That way we can keep you in the loop. And that was all for today. So we would like to thank you for your time and thank you for your input. I hope this was valuable to you and wish you all the best.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.